Hello family, welcome to HGW Community 72. I am Miss B, Bohemian Soul, and if you are new here, welcome. If you are a subscriber or you've just been to the channel before, welcome back. Thank you. Please consider hitting the like button and sharing this video if it resonates with you. So today's video, don't know what I'm going to title it yet, but I am going to talk to how as once was a wife and was married to my ex, how the simple things of preparing a meal signifies how the relationship or the marriage has changed and it is on the decline. How a simple meal preparation signifies and represents a decline or an ending of your marriage. And so I am coming from a very traditional standpoint as a woman that was married, very traditional marriage. I enjoyed being a wife. I enjoyed and still do enjoy being a mom, obviously. Ended the marriage, last year, 14-year marriage. There's other videos, you can watch it if you don't know the back and get the backstory. So this is something that I realized and my ex-husband realized, that our marriage was coming to an end. It was on the decline. So I love to cook. I loved and enjoyed listening to my ex-husband when we were married boast about how good my food was. For instance, there was a specific dinner that I would prepare, one of his favorites, and that was brown stew chicken with cabbage, rice, and cornbread. When I would make that meal for him, like usually he would come in, and because I will be preparing dinner, and he would come in, and before the door would close, he would speak about, oh Lord, you're cooking my favorite cabbage, you're cooking rice, I smelled cornbread, and brown stew chicken, I can't wait to eat. Let me go wash up. Because he knew by the time he went and got himself washed up, dinner would be ready. And this is when things, things were good in the marriage. Things were not on the decline, and he would sit there at the table. Obviously I would prepare his plate, and even in my preparing, and I think this is the key, even in my preparing the meal, right? And me preparing the meal, I took pride and I took my time and I put my soul into preparing a meal for my husband, and whom I knew would enjoy my cooking, my feeding him spiritually, soulfully, physically as well. And I would, we would all be at the table, and he would just talk about how good the cabbage was, how it wasn't overcooked, and he would talk about even specific spices. One of the things I would put in there would be a little bit of curry powder and red pepper seed, and celery seed, and if I use, he would know the difference if I used Spanish onion as opposed to a red onion. He would talk about that. And then if I really took my time, I would slice up carrots very, very thin and put it in there. And he would boast about the gravy from the brown stew chicken. Ooh, he would say, babe, this is just so good. And I was thinking about this meal. I was hoping that this is something, because my ex was a truck driver. I was hoping that this is something that you would be preparing. And when I came through the threshold of the door and I smelled the smells, I was like, yes. But then things changed. How a meal preparation shows that the marriage, the relationship is on the decline and is coming to an end. Because that is specifically and really what happened. I would say the last 6 months of our marriage, and we knew things were bad. We knew things were coming to an end, and no one really wanted to address it. But it was addressed. It was addressed in a specific meal that I had prepared. It was actually breakfast. And so in our household, we didn't eat, and I still don't eat pork. So I would prepare turkey kielbasa, split it with some onion. I would fry eggs, make grits, and usually blueberry bread. We're not a household. We weren't in a household where we ate biscuits, right? And I remember I prepared this specific, and things were bad. I actually, the evening before, I remember we had gotten to a big argument, whatever. So, Saturday mornings, breakfast morning. Saturday mornings, we're all in the house at the same time. And I'm preparing breakfast. And I prepared this specific breakfast. And I always, served my ex-husband first. And then I would serve the children. And then, of course, I would make my own plate. And I remember, and he would wait for me to, sit down with my plate, and then, we would eat. And I remember him saying, you burnt the freaking kielbasa, and the grits is lumpy. And I remember looking across the table at him, saying to myself, I don't give a crap. And yeah, it is. Because I knew I didn't put my all in preparing a good, wholesome, solid breakfast for my husband at the time. And the fact that he verbalized it was huge. Because he knew how much I enjoyed preparing a soulful meal, whatever it was, breakfast, lunch, dinner, for him. And he knew that would hurt me as his wife at the time. And he said, this is nasty. This is nasty. What did you do? What did you not do? And so I gave him back attitude in my answer, and it was not a good thing. But I would say we both knew that through my cooking, things were coming to an end. So I just wanted to speak to that. I want to speak to different types of avenues and signs that the relationship, the marriage is coming to an end, because the effort and the love, that's what it is. The effort and the love that you once put into serving your spouse. If you're a wife, serving your husband. If you're a husband, serving your wife, it's no longer there. And then it's through something as simple as meal preparation where you see that things have come to an end. So family, listen. Be great to yourself because you are great. Be great to your family. They deserve your greatness. Be great to your community. Without love, self-love first, we have absolutely nothing. And as always, clarity is key. But without consistency, we have no balance. Family, be well.